Good afternoon, Internet students. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Welcome to another dazzling lesson from University1310.org. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about the wraparound porch and all things porch. So yes, this journey is still going on, as you are well aware. It's not completed yet. You still don't have your off-grid retreat built and probably able to live in it and be satisfied with all your interior decorations and your kitchen cooking your own food yet. But it's like completing your first day of kindergarten. You still haven't learned how to read yet and write because both are a progression. And I'm proud that you've made it this far in all of these lessons. And we're going to progress even further until we complete our off-grid retreat. Tools: wheelbarrow, cement mixer, Portland cement, post hole digger, cordless screw gun, nail gun, circular saw, level, pressure treated 2x6 boards, sono tubes, which are cardboard cylinders which you fill with concrete for your porch posts, porch swing, porch railings, porch roofing beams, and backhoe with a drill bit installed. Step 1, planning the milestone. In this lesson, students will understand how to properly stake out the porch posts and measure them correctly from your home, drill the proper hole depth and proper hole diameter, and also set the sono tubes inside. We're going to pour concrete in. We're going to construct the porch floor, plumb the porch, encapsulate it all with a roof, and have the proper beams going up to the roof. This must be done in order to secure the steel roof in the next lesson. Remember that your porch roof is part of your steel sheets on your actual main roof. So that's why this lesson is coming in this juncture. And also each lesson is a milestone off your overall project plan. Remember our project plan lesson early on in the series. Step 2, property grading. This will require getting a bobcat with a bucket on the front, and then I had the drill on the back, so I was able to, kill two birds with one stone, as a cliche. I used the bucket front end to grade the property properly. They say typically 3 inches per every 10 feet. I actually graded it 3 inches per every 5 feet. I went kind of a steeper slope because I wanted the rain to run off much better. Actually, where I live, when it rains out, it's kind of a monsoon, so we get so much rain. I want to make sure this water is away from the foundation and not seeping down into the ground around the foundation. So again, you want to use spray paint and mark out your foundation and how you want to grade it. And then go ahead and start up your bobcat and use the bucket and grade it properly. It must be graded prior to starting your porch holes insertion. Step 3, drill the holes into the ground and pour the concrete into the sono tubes. So this one you could rent any type of equipment that you want. I used a Bobcat mini tractor with a 1-foot diameter drill bit attached. It must be at least 2 feet deep. I went deeper, like 4 feet. And then I inserted a 4-foot sono tube in, which is cardboard cylinder, which actually you can fill with concrete, level the top of it, and then put your anchor bolts in. Once the holes are drilled, go ahead and insert the sono tube, pour the concrete, and insert your anchor bolts. Step 4, build out the porch floor. When the concrete is dry and the anchor bolts are secured, you will start out by laying the sill plate of your porch floor. Remember the sill plate of your subfloor for your home? Well, it's the same kind of sill plate, except it's for your porch floor. And it's going to be pressure treated wood. And your sill plate for your main home was also pressure treated, but it was a 2x8. This is going to be a 2x6. I bought 12-foot long pieces, which was perfect because the runs of the porch were 12 feet. So that was kind of a blessing in disguise. Tip: Once the sill plate and rim joists are completed, be sure to do the porch railing posts and also inserted all sides into the rim joist resting on the sill plate. So you want to insert your porch railings into your porch floor and bolt them into the rim joist, which is resting on your sill plate of the porch floor. You also want to do the same for your beams for your porch roof. In other words, students, you don't want to rest these railing posts or beam posts for your roof on top of your porch floor because they can wobble and they're not really that secure. So the best way to secure them is go right through to the rim joists and bolt them in there. Now that the porch posts are installed properly for your roof, which in my case were 6x6s, you want to go ahead and install the porch roofing beams. These needed to be carved out of 4x6s, so the roofing trusses for the porch students are 4x6s. The roofing beams were 6x6s, so they're a little bit bigger. You also want to use a maul and chisel and make them the same angle as the pitch of your roof. Again, I have a 12/6 roof, which is 22.5 degree angle. So I was able to chisel them out and make the porch, roof trusses the same angle, and then they inserted just fine at the angle that was needed to butt the actual roof of the house. So once it is your roofing posts are plumb and level, and your porch trusses are in, we're going to install the tongue and groove ceiling for the porch. Again, this is the same tongue and groove that I used inside the main home, and it keeps the contour of the home, which I told you before is a 15th century Catholic church. Wow, all the woodworking. If you have a log home, you want to make it really look pop. I wouldn't recommend using sheetrock inside of a log home or anything like linoleum. You got something so beautiful with the logs itself, so you want to make sure you have that wow factor throughout your entire building process. Remember to install the tongue and groove from the bottom up. So you're going to start at the bottom of your porch trusses and then go up. This helps with rain runoff. And then once you butt the main roof, you're done at that point. And you're going to put OSB on the top of the tongue and groove ceiling of the porch. So when you're standing on the porch looking up, you'll see the tongue and groove. However, you have a sheet of OSB on top of the tongue and groove, and then a sheet of your tar paper or icy shield, whatever you're using, and then that will seal this in from the weather at that point. So, and remember to repeat this process on the other side of your wraparound porch as well, if you have 2 of them or 3. The next is going to be installing the railings for the entire porch. This is the spindle railings, as you can see from the picture here. And this was a kind of a neat project. Once this was going up, the porch really popped and gave it that finished look. I did sand everything because I had to lay these spindles out for over a year, I think 2 years actually, from the time I purchased a log package till the time I installed them. And they were really weather beaten by the sun, so I had to sand everything and then stain them all prior to installing them. However, once that they were done, leveled and plumbed, you can stand on them. They look like the same texture of the home with the logs varnish that they had. And it really looked very sharp once these were in, as you can see from the picture. So tip, all the components of the porch need to be stained. I recommend 2 coats, especially since these are exterior logs. And you want to keep them uniform with the actual main log home. And I use the same sealer and the same stain, which accented the house appropriately. So, all right, so step 5, you don't want these people to be your neighbor. And again, I'm always giving you a tidbit. during these lessons so that you folks can understand when you go to an off-grid retreat that you want to make sure that you're being, you know, a clandestine and well protected out there. So, a word to the wise: you might have neighbors coming down to peer into your work efforts. I recommend you stay at your job site at night to purchase and even purchase one of those self-showering tubs, replete with hot water heated with propane. So this is a propane tank like for your grill. You can hook it up and you can have hot water and you can shower there. That way you save money on hotels. I actually didn't ever go to a hotel, I think, but maybe once every 2 weeks or something. I just needed a break from the site and I, purchased a hotel room and did that. But for the most part, I stayed at the job site. This also ensures that your tools do not walk off the site. I also had an extended cab truck, and I could actually sleep in the back on the cold nights, or I could sleep in the bed of the truck with a blow-up mattress. So, a tip for you folks, purchase a pickup truck if you can. In addition, I had those DIY neighbors that did not understand construction, building codes, and cobbled everything together. These folks did their home, and it looked like a bomb hit their home when you walked into it. What I'm getting at is you can show them your work when they come onto your job site, but when they ridicule it, which they will, show them the certified architecture plans and how you built this to exact specifications. Show them every beam, every bolt, every screw that's outlined in the architect plan and say that this is a certified plan and you have built your house to certifications. Now, these folks tend to have moved from the People's Republic of California, and of course you know my ancillary comments on California. This is a joke because California is run by Marxist liberals, as we know, and California now looks like a police state of the ex-Soviet Union, in my opinion. So I understand that they are conservatives from California moving out to the Great American Redoubt. But remember, folks, that Democrats in Montana are more conservative than conservatives from California, in my humble opinion. And a conservative Californian is a Democrat in Montana, in my humble opinion. So, in fact, our region in the Northern Rockies, there's a movement up here called No 31. It's got the number 31 with a circle around it and an X through it. This is due to California being the 31st state. And people don't want anything Californian up here. We just want to keep this country pure. So some folks fly the American flag with the 31st star covered up. So you can't see it because that's California's star, 31st state. I don't do that because I think it's desecrating the American flag. However, I will not fly the American flag with California's star on it. So I fly the Betsy Ross flag. It's the revolutionary flag with the 13 stars representing the 13 original colonies, and also has a 76 in the center of the blue background, representing the birth of our Christian nation, which our nation has foundational documents written on God's word based on Christian principles. And it was birthed on July 4th, 1776, as we know, so that's where the 76 comes from. And the flag is called the Bennington flag. So I don't want to desecrate the American flag, but I don't want to fly California's star either. So I fly the Bennington flag, which is more purebred to our national constitution and our roots as a Christian nation. We still are a Christian nation, by the way. Just some antichrist principle people are trying to take over the nation and are essentially the anti-government people. I know they call us folks living in rural areas and pro-Second Amendment people anti-government people, but we are constitutionalists, and the true anti-government people are those that actually want to overthrow the Constitution upon which their government was founded, in my humble opinion. All right, so that concludes the tidbit. The next lesson, we will demonstrate the steel sheets, how to install them, the soffit, the fascias, the ridges, the valleys, the hips of your roof, and to secure it for many decades to come. In closing, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you're conservative, I know that you'll give me $5 or $10 donation, University1310.org, where all of these resources are currently free, and wishing you and your DIY project well, and Godspeed, everybody. Thank you.